Well, good morning. I've come out early this morning to shoot a location I've been to a couple of times before, but never for sunrise at this time of the year. It's in Llangollen, which is in northeast Wales. Now this has an advantage for me in that it's a lot closer than my normal haunts in Snowdonia. This only takes me around 45 minutes. The other advantage is it's time of year. It's autumn. It's the best time of year for shooting this location. I'm hoping there's a little bit of colour in the scenery, in the trees in the foreground. But best of all, I've got a castle perched on a hill. Now that's what I really want to shoot today, and I'm hoping the weather's going to play ball. So fingers crossed, here we go. That's my viewpoint for the day, although I'm not going to shoot here from the road. That's the castle in the distance. I'm going to get some elevation so I can get some of these trees in the foreground and get some height and hopefully set the castle off a little bit better.
When I set out on these early morning trips, I'm never really certain what I'm going to get. It's always going to be a bit of a gamble, but that's part of the fun I find of landscape photography. It's always something different every time. Now on this morning I'd hoped the sun would break through and illuminate the castle you can see over my shoulder. But as with everything, it's always going to be a bit of a gamble, but that's what I find such a challenge.
Yeah, it's quite tough going to get to my viewpoint, which I want to get the outlook of the castle. I want to get some height and hopefully get some trees in the foreground, so I'm going to have to push through these ferns and hope I can get above for a view.
Okay, after much undignified thrashing around in the undergrowth and fumbling with the microphone, which is played up, so I'm having to use my mobile phone, I'm now in position and I'm about 10 minutes off sunrise. We've actually got the moon up there, but I'm after the sunrise. I want it to light up those clouds over the castle. Now I've set up with my Bronica. It's a square format film camera, a bit of an old bust, but very, very nice to use. And I've gone for a standard focal length, so I'm just going to be catching the tree in the foreground and the castle and the hilltop to the right. So fingers crossed, sun's going to come up, I'm going to get a great shot, and I've got a lovely cup of coffee waiting for me back in the car.
Now the light's improving all the time, but what I'm really hoping for is that some of that cloud will now light up, because the sky over towards sunrise, over there, is clearing nicely. Now if that clears, it's going to put a lot of light onto this foreground, and that's going to make it look a lot warmer, and that's exactly what I'm after. Now, this is the view from my waist level finder on the Bronica. Just gives you an idea of what I'm seeing. Has a magnifying glass built in to help me focus, but typically I find it easier to actually do most of the work with this chimney view. It allows me to crop out all the unnecessary details and concentrate just on the scene at hand. Now, if you're interested in the details of this particular setup, I'm shooting with a standard lens on the Bronica, which is an 80mm, equivalent to a 50mm in full frame terms. I'm shooting with a 100 speed slide film, Provia, from Fuji,
And I'm using a 0.3 neutral density graduated filter just to tame the sky slightly, because slide film has very, very low latitude, less than digital. I'll also be shooting with print film, which is obviously a lot more tolerant, and I can get away without using graduated filters. Shutter speed initially was about 1/8 of a second, f/16, probably now moving to about 1/4 or 1/2 a second. But I'm really waiting for the sky to improve. It's a little bit heavy on the left at the moment, but I have some nice cloud coming in from the right, and also the castle should hopefully soon be catching the sun. Well, I've pretty much finished now. I got the shot I wanted. I got the sun fully out on the castle, and it's getting very windy up here now. I don't think I'm going to get a better one, as the sun's getting very bright now. So I'm going to move on. I may shoot somewhere else. I may call it a day. I've got other things I want to do. Just got to fight my way through all the heather and the bracken, back up to the path, and back to the car, which is sat just down there, if you can see it, for a very, very welcome and deserved coffee. Off I go. With the shoot over, I often have mixed feelings as I make my way back to the car. Sometimes I'm exhilarated if the light has done exactly what I expected it to do and I've managed to capture what I think is going to be a magic moment. But equally, I often feel disappointed. I feel I've let myself down. I could have concentrated more, tried different angles and compositions, and perhaps just seen something out of the ordinary which eluded me at the time. It's a mixed feeling, shooting landscapes. It's one of those challenges which you never really master, and maybe that's the whole point of it. One day, if I were to come away every single time with a fantastic image, I'd probably find something else to do because the challenge would no longer be there. Well, whilst on the way back to the car, I've also noticed some opportunities for a bit of infrared photography. Something I've done a lot over the years, but I haven't done much of recently. So I've packed away a small infrared camera in the bag with me, a little Canon G15, and I'm going to take a few snaps with that to see how they come out. Well, back in the car now, only a 5-minute walk, a few infrared pictures towards the castle. Enjoyable morning, probably a couple of hours on a hillside in the wind, cold, but I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be at this time of the year. So I may shoot something else if I can find a scene around here. If not, that'll be the end of it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If we get a bit more footage, good. Let's see what happens. Thanks again.